What is up, YouTube? Pal Sensei coming at you with another video featuring Cattiva. Now, Cattiva is a neutral typing pal, and I named him Scrambles. He does have terrible stats. As you can see, his HP, attack, defense, all well above average, defense being his best stat, but he is ranked 129th in defense. Now, his attack is number 133, but Cattiva has a passive skill that he always has, which is Coward. Now, Coward will decrease his attack by, what is it? I think it's, 10%. It is, so his already abysmal attack rating is going to be decreased another negative 10%. I don't know if that was factored into his attack rating when they made that tier list, but yeah, there you go. Now he's going to have 3 moves that we're going to be using: Bog Blast, Seed Machine Gun, and Pow Blast. Since he is neutral typing, Pow Blast is going to get stabbed, and it does have a great base power of 150 plus the stab, so that's going to be 180. Bog Blast and Seed Machine Gun are not good. And what's crazy is those are his next best moves. Seed Machine Gun has a base power of 50, and Bog Blast has a base power of 40. So I believe Land Ball at least had Power Bomb, which had a base power of 100. Yeah, I'm not expecting a whole lot to go well on this run. But it's impossible for him to lose against Chillet because he is maxed out at level 60. Again, I always say this. I did this because I did not know how to regulate the experience going from PAL to PAL. So I just thought, you know what, we're going to max them all out. And then go up in level against these boss pals to show a progression of difficulty. This is going to make the first few boss fights trivial. However, I don't know. I thought it was cool. Now we are fighting Damud. Who really cares about any of Damud's moves, because he's going to go down like a sack of poo right there. And we are going to move on to the next fight, which is going to be Azarobe. Now, I do have to say this. These pals on Island 1 possess no good passives. They do not have any souls to increase attack D or HP. And they are not condensed. I did this because I wanted this to be somewhat difficult for the pals to progress. If I max them all out, they would just slaughter every boss on Island 1, maybe with exception to the last 2 bosses in this first run. They might have held up, kind of well, but the first 4 bosses and everybody in the middle would just get absolutely destroyed if I did not do that. So that is what we are working with right now. Each of these boss pals is going to also have different passives that may affect the timing of each run. I don't see it playing a significant factor. So I'm not even going to worry about it. And I'm probably going to stop bringing it up because nobody would probably even know that, except really experienced PAL players, or I don't know. So it's not even, I'm not even gonna bring it up anymore. So we're just gonna leave it at that. We are moving on to Grintail. Grintail is also a cat, and the devs made it so that when 2 cats fight, there is extra animosity towards that other frickin' cat, because as everybody knows, cats hate one another, and we're gonna find out just which cat is the better cat. Now, Cattiva or Scrambles, whichever name you want to use, I'm probably going to go back and forth between both. Anyway, Scrambles is throwing out everything in his arsenal, and what is crazy is that Grintail is still alive. Other pals on these first few fights will just absolutely roll through these boss pals, but Scrambles is struggling a little bit, and that speaks volumes towards how this run is going to go in the later boss fights. So, but he does get through Grintail right there. We are moving on to phase 2 of this boss rush progression, and that is going to be Broncherry. Now, this boss progression is going to feature 15 bosses, but I seriously doubt that Scrambles makes it that far. However, for future runs, it is good to know, I guess, for the thousands of people that watch these videos, how many bosses we are going to go up against. Now, Broncherry is grass typing, and luckily Scrambles has 0, I repeat, 0 fire moves. So he is going to be able to do pretty much nothing super effective to Broncherry. But he does still have Pal Blast with blah, blah, blah. Blah. Pal Blast. Why can't I say that? Pal Blast, which I have said in previous videos that I hate, because Pal Blast is a blast move, which is weird because it has blast in its name, and that's not even what I wanted to say. It's a laser move. All these laser moves like Hydro Laser, Dark Laser, Pal Blast, man, they rub me the wrong way. I do not like how inconsistent they are when they are launched. Sometimes they will hit a lot, and sometimes they won't hit at all. Now, Broncherry does have an exclusive move called Muscle Slam, which he just tried to do, and he fell short of Cattiva right there. And that move does have a base power of 80. It is neutral typing though, so it does not get stabbed from his grass typing. He also has Seed Mine, which I'm confused about the power. It has a power of 65, but I don't know if that's just the initial hit. And Broncherry just sends Cattiva flying right there. I love watching these smaller guys fight bigger pals, especially when they have body slam moves like that, because they just get sent, man. And then they have that, you know, dizzy animation, so it's kind of funny. But anyway, back to Seed Mine. I think it's the initial hit that is 65, and then if the POW runs into multiple seeds, it's going to do more damage. So you could make a argument that that is actually Broncherry's best move. But on paper, power-wise, it is his Muscle Slam. Cattiva right now is getting nowhere with Broncherry. In fact, he's taking... I mean, he just finished the ball, don't get me wrong. But I was a little concerned with how much health he just lost, because am I going to have to go back to base and start healing this guy already? I'm going to move on to King P.A.K.A. However, for Eldinfadran, I might have to go back and heal up, just because he is a lot higher level than King P.A.K.A. and Broncherry. And this freaking guy smacks me in the head with a club. I don't even know where he came from. And his, you know, goony friends are right behind him, so I have to put them down just to stay out of the freaking fight. These PAL, I don't know if this, no, these are the criminal guys. This isn't the PAL Alliance. These guys are the Team Rocket of PAL World. So, you know, I don't know if they deserve to die, but he did, you know, hit me over the head with a club, which, you know, in normal life would probably it would have the potential to kill you. So I think I was in my right there to, you know, murder him in cold blood. And, you know, no one was around, and I didn't get, you know, a criminal warning. So, yeah, don't hit me with a freaking club. But Cattiva is doing pretty good work against King P.A.K.A. right now. And I don't think we are going to have to go back and heal, which is good. That's going to save some time. We're going to move right on to Eldinfadran, who I always pronounce wrong, as I always say. But, you know, it's a hard name to pronounce. Now, Eldinfadran does have 4 moves he likes to use. One exclusive one called a Mystic Whirlwind. It has a base power of 70. He also likes to spam Draconic Breath, Flare Arrow, and Dragon Burst. Now, each one of these moves is not that great. King P.A.K.A. has a better move called Kingly Slam with a base power of 100. That is exclusive to him. So actually, Eldinfadran has less powerful moves than King P.A.K.A. Interesting fact, King P.A.K.A. is one of the few bosses that have a base power move of 100 or more, which is pretty cool. Now, this is another thing I don't think I said in the beginning of the video, but each one of these pals in these boss rushes is going to be evaluated by time and the distance they got in the boss rush ladder. So, if Cattiva went down to Eldifendran right here, but Lamball made it to, you know, Elizabeth and had a higher time at Eldifendran, obviously Lamball would still be higher in the tier list because he made it further in the boss ladder. I just wanted to make a tier list of all these pals to see just who is the best. I know everybody probably already kind of knows that, but I'm seeing that there's some pals that, you know, I've never used in casual runs, and they're surprising me. And that is fun to figure out. Eldifendran right now is at half health. Cattiva, I don't know what he's doing. Sometimes these pals just glitch out. It could be because he is too far or too close to the boss. This is kind of annoying. I love it when pals have moves that can hit the pal and create space for me so I don't have to continue to summon them and throw them back out. And Cattiva right now just does not want to fire off any moves. This was a problem with Lamball too. I think, like I said, I think it's a distance thing. And this is just going to add a ton of time to the runs. But we're getting there. We're at about a little bit, you know, an eighth of a health bar right now. One more Pal Blast from Cattiva should end this. I think we are going to have to backtrack and heal up before our next boss fight. Because, you know, Mosandalux is kind of a big old tanky boy. So we're going to need Cattiva to be at full power when we fight that dude. Now, Mosandalux does have 4 moves. He likes to spam his best 4, I should say. Tri-Lightning, Blast Punch, Streak Lightning, or not, that's wrong. Lightning Streak and Shockwave. His exclusive move is going to be Blast Punch, which is that spinny electrocuted punch that sends pals just flying across the map. It has a base power of 85, and all these moves that he uses are actually electric type, so they're all going to get a attack bonus. Tri Lightning has a base power of 90, but I don't know if that is just from the first hit or not the first hit, I'm sorry. If it's total or if it's each consecutive hit. So if it has a base power of 90, Tri Lightning hits 3 times. Does that mean it's actually hitting for 270? I don't know. Maybe I should have figured that out before I started talking about Tri Lightning. Now, obviously, as I mentioned, Mosandalux is electric type, and Cattiva actually has a ground move, Fog Blast. It only has a base power of 40, but it's kind of smacking this guy, and Cattiva is doing some pretty good work. Oh my god, but Mosandalux just absolutely decks Cattiva right there with his exclusive punch move, and I could not find where the heck Cattiva flew for a second, and he went so far away, and then he comes wilding up to fire off a seed machine gun from the abyss, which that punch, that was just funny. Usually it doesn't launch him that far. As you can see right here, it kind of just pushed him back a little bit. So I don't know what was going on with that other punch that sent Cattiva flying like that. One or 2 more moves right here, and Cattiva will have wrapped up Mosandalux, which is kind of better than I expected. Cattiva just had such abysmal stats, plus his bad passive, I was thinking, you know, he's probably not going to make it that far in this run, but just because of the level disadvantage, I guess that is why he is faring so well. Moving on to Univolt. Univolt is another electric POW. Most of the boss POWs on Island 1 are electric or ground or grass. There's a lot of grass. Mainly those kind of 3 typings. Water too, I guess, with Azarobe and Bronze Cherry Aqua. So there is not a whole lot of variety in the typing on Island 1. But Univolt does have 4 moves that he likes to use. Each of them are lightning, so they're going to get a boost in power. His most powerful move is going to be Tri Lightning again, just like Mulsanna Lux, with a base power of 90. Now again, I don't know if that's just the whole move in general or if it's each consecutive Tri Lightning hit. His exclusive move is Lightning Gale, where he runs at you and lightning comes down from the heavens, but it only has a base power of 60, so it is not his best move. Right there, it does hit multiple times on the strike, so it could do more than actually 60. A lot of these moves have base powers, and then they do a lot more than they are described to do. You cannot take the base power of a move by what it says. They could possibly do more or not a lot at all. We did have to backtrack right there to heal up for Elizabeth. Now, this is kind of where the POWs get ramped up in difficulty, and I'm not very optimistic about how Cattiva is going to do against this big boy, because Elizabeth fires off moves like crazy, and he's kind of agile. Not Jet Dragon fast, obviously, but he kind of dips, ducks, ducks, and dives? Was that the 5 dodgeball prerequisites to be a great dodgeballer? It doesn't even matter. I don't know why I'm talking about it. So, I don't even remember what I was talking about. We are fighting Elizabeth. That is all I know now. My mind went to dodgeball. Sorry about that. Elizabeth is at half health right now, though. And our Cattiva is like at 2/3 of his health. Now, Elizabeth does have a exclusive move called Spinning Lance. It is same typing. Elizabeth is grass. Obviously, Cattiva does not have any fire moves, so he does not have anything that can hit Elizabeth super effective, which is, you know, not good since Elizabeth is good. He will be also spamming Grass Tornado. Probably, that is a really good move. I really like Grass Tornado. It only has a base power of 80, but it hits a lot, and it hits hard. Really hard. So hard. I don't know why I keep saying hard. Anyway, stop saying hard. Cattiva is kind of getting worked now. This is going to be a really close fight. It's kind of, you know, getting down to the wire here. I don't know. This is so interesting. And whoa, wow. Okay, there we go. That was, you know, that was getting there. But Cattiva puts him down with barely any health left. That was close. Bronze Cherry is going to be more difficult. I did have to backtrack and heal him up in the POW box. That just speeds up the recovery time. If you just let the POW recover in your inventory, it takes forever. Bronze Cherry Aqua is more difficult than Elizabeth. And since he struggled so hard, this is gonna, I don't know, this might not go well right now. Bronze Cherry Aqua has, you know, I always say 4 moves, but he can use more than 4 moves. The 4 moves that are his most powerful are going to be Spine Vine, Seed Machine Gun, or Seed Mine, Muscle Slam, which we just saw, and Bubble Burst. Now, Broncherry Aqua is Water Grass, so all of the moves that he has are going to do stab, except for Muscle Slam. I believe that is neutral typing. Spinevine is the strongest with a base power of 95, and that move scares me the most because it does way more than 95. I don't know how they factor these base move powers into the HP pools, because obviously Cattiva has over 4,000 health, so if it only did 95, then obviously that wouldn't hurt that much. Maybe I gotta do some more research into how these powers scale as the pals level up. Anyway, there's the Spinevine right there. Cattiva is less than half health right now. Broncherry Aqua is over half health. He misses luckily right there with his exclusive move, and yeah, it's not looking good. If it's close, I will come back and try this fight again. But if Cattiva just gets blown out, I might call it and just say there is no hope. Right now, it's kind of looking like Cattiva might be able to take Broncherry Aqua out if he goes down right here and gets better RNG for the next fight. And if he does, I'm not going to worry about it. If he beats him, you know, that's handy dandy notebook. We are moving on to the next boss. I'm not worried about how well these pals do, if they lose or win. If they win, they win, they go. And if they struggle or get better RNG, that's fine. They won. We're moving on. But it is not looking good for Cattiva right here. One more Spinevine is probably going to take him out. We're going to have to go back, heal up. There we go. Oh, he's not dead. I thought he was going to go down right there. Come on, Broncherry, just knock him out. Yeah, there we go. So that's going to wrap it up. Broncherry didn't even get down to a third of his health. I think he was a little bit above a third of his health. But we're going to try one more time. We went back, we healed up. We're going to see what happens. And yeah, I just because of how much health Broncherry Aqua had in the last fight, I'm not very optimistic that Cattiva is going to be able to get through him. And if this is the end for Cattiva, this is bad. Lamball made it to Mammorest at least. I know Broncherry Aqua is the hardest POW to this point, I believe, just because his health pool and his attacks do a ton. But I was not expecting Cattiva to get worked over quite like this from a level 30 POW. It was kind of shocking. His Coward passive plus in tandem with his moveset, yeah. I know I was expecting this kind of in the beginning of the video, but I thought he'd probably at least get to where Lamball got. Anyway, doing some pretty good work against Broncherry. 2/3 of his health still remain. Cattiva is around, you know, about that same amount. And it's not even like I can redistribute his moves. Like some of his other moves, like Wind Cutter and Punch Flurry, are really bad. Like Sea Machine Gun has a base power of 50. Wind Cutter is 30. Punch Flurry is 40. It is neutral typing though, so maybe I could have switched it out for Bog Blast, since Bog Blast, it would, or Punch Flurry would do more than Bog Blast is what I'm trying to spit out, but I freaking can't get it out. I don't think that would have made a huge difference though, so I'm not even worried about switching these moves out right now. Cattiva does smack him with a really good Power Blast right there though, which is interesting because I found that Broncherry kind of has a super weird hitbox when it comes to these laser moves. Sometimes it'll hit like that, or I've seen it miss completely, especially if Broncherry is charging at the person charging the move up. Like that. So it only hit him for 3 markers, I believe, because he was encroaching on Cattiva right there. Anyway, it is not looking good for our little cat boy. Poor little Scrambles, man. He is scrambled his last egg, I think. I don't think we're going to come back and try this fight again. Broncherry is at a quarter health still. He did do better, obviously, this second time around, but it's just not looking good for our boy. This is the end. This is the end. I don't know why I'm singing, but I think just because this fight it's so long. Cattiva, I mean, that was like a 2-minute long fight I had to talk over. You know how hard that is? Just talking about the same thing over and over again. Oh, there's another Spine Bind. There's another Pow Blast. Okay, let's, wrap it up. Hurry it up. Anyway, we're not gonna go back and fight Broncherry Aqua again. I know I'm calling it there. I don't think Cattiva is able to get through this guy. Maybe in future videos I'll do like a 3-strike you're out kind of dealio. And as you can see, Cattiva is the worst pal to run through Island 1 so far, with Felbat being number 1, and I don't think he's going to be dethroned for quite a while. But Cattiva did not even make it through Broncherry Aqua, so we're not even really worried about the time right now. He is just flat out the worst. Now, if there is another POW that gets stopped by Broncherry Aqua, then we will figure out, obviously we'll match the times to see which one is actually better than the other, but they're both really bad if they don't get past Broncherry Aqua, so you probably should not run them in your casual teams, or unless you want to have fun. Anyway, peace.